Hey Darksiders, how is everybody? Hopefully all is well. So this video was totally impromptu. I had a notion and I just decided to jump on and talk to the Darksiders about it. If you guys are new here, you'll find that I do that sometimes. I have unplanned videos where I think about something and I say, you know what? I want to talk to the Darkside community about it. So I want to talk a little bit about Black Panther and what's next for Black Panther in the MCU and the Black Panther character that we see on the big screen after the passing of Chadwick Boseman, which still gets me, man. You know, it resonates with me in a lot of different ways. I think if you guys saw the last video I put out when he passed, it resonates with me because we both graduated from the same alma mater. He was a couple of years after me, but you know, a Howard grad is a Howard grad, so we always identify with each other. But also the fact that he passed from colorectal cancer resonates with me as well, because the last time I had my doctor's appointment, my doctor said, I think it's PSI numbers, I believe is the name of it, were a little bit elevated, so he wanted to monitor me. So I understand kind of the angst that can go along with that, and to think that he put in so much work while he was sick was tremendous. But I think that speaks about the caliber of the person that donned the Black Panther suit. And oh, if you all have not seen, I'm going to put them in the description of this video, just some of the interviews with some of his co-stars and others talking about just the caliber of person that he was. They are tremendous. I mean, you had folks that were tearing up. I've never seen Joe Rogan cry. If you know who Joe Rogan is, if you're a UFC fan, you know he's a commentator. But he cried when he was talking about Chadwick Boseman and Black Panther because he was such a tremendous dude. So here are the things that I think need to happen when Marvel moves this character on. And I think that you definitely have to move the character on. I think, you know, financially, there's no way that Marvel would not move Black Panther on. But I do think some certain things need to happen when you move this character on. Because Boseman really cared about the character, and because he really did embody something special in Black Panther. And I said this in my last video, it was more than just a superhero movie. It was a cultural phenomenon, really, when you think about it, especially when you look at it in the framework of the African American community and what it meant for mainstream African American superheroes and really mainstream African American superhero movies with a primarily black cast. There was a lot of big things that happened with the Black Panther movie. And you know, for the past few years, there's been big talk about representation in Hollywood and all that kind of good stuff. And you guys already know my thoughts on that. I think that it should be diversity in Hollywood. I think it should be because of representation in terms of folks watching these films are a diverse cast. But I also think it should be because of talent. We get to see the breadth of talent when you diversify the people both in front of and behind the camera. So I say all that to say that Black Panther did so much for those of us that love the film. Now, if we move forward, and we will move forward, and I've said this before, I think that Boseman will want us to move forward. I think he understood the value of what this film brought to those of us who are movie lovers, and it was more than just an enjoyable Marvel film. It was something very special about how this film impacted communities just worldwide. So I definitely think that he will want the character to move on. Now, if they replace him, I don't know why I said if, they will replace him, I think a couple of things need to happen. Number one, I think you have to get someone that appreciates the character. You cannot put somebody in this role that really just wants to kind of ride on the wave of the popularity of Black Panther. They have to appreciate the character. I cannot stress that enough. That's my personal belief. If you think otherwise, drop a comment, let me know. But number one, they have to appreciate the character. Number two, they have to be very strong performers. They have to be very talented actors. And Boseman was fantastic in this role. And the reason that they have to be very strong actors, more so than acrobatic or more so than able to pull off the fight choreography, is because Black Panther's in a suit, quite honestly, right? When you put the helmet on him, it could be anybody in that suit. So you could get a stunt double or somebody that's really able to pull off that fight choreo and give us what we need. But when that helmet is off, they need to be able to perform in front of the camera well. They need to be A-list actors, and I don't mean A-list in terms of what we would classify as A-list Will Smith or some of the other folks. I mean A-list in terms of just being able to act. They have to be good performers. They could be newcomers. They just have to be good performers, and they have to have an understanding and respect for the character. And I also think, again, this is my opinion, this might be a little bit controversial, I don't know, I guess you guys will let me know that in the comments. I also think that they definitely have to have an appreciation for the culture that was built around the character, because it's one of the reasons why why Black Panther had the mileage that it did. It was because of the phenomena and what Boseman brought to that character outside of just the movie. That's really important for it to be successful as we move forward. So hopefully those are the things that Feige and Marvel considers as they move this franchise forward. And I don't know, maybe they've talked about it. I've not really been up on things with my Marvel news, which is strange, but maybe Feige's talked about it on Twitter or Marvel's talked about it on Twitter, and they've talked about the plans for moving forward. I don't know. It hasn't been that long since he's passed, and sure, folks are still reeling from it. I don't know if they mentioned it or not. My point is, those are the things that I think need to happen when we're talking about who is next for a Black Panther character. Now make sure that you hop over to the community section. I'm going to put a poll over there because I'd love to know. You know what? Actually, don't worry about the poll. Let's do it in the comments. I'd like to know who you think would be a good actor to don the mantle of Black Panther. Notice I didn't say replace Boseman, because I don't think any of the Marvel characters can be replaced. I think that you cannot replace Iron Man. You cannot replace, I can't think. Well, obviously you can replace Spider-Man, but you cannot replace Iron Man. You cannot replace Thor, in my opinion. You cannot replace Black Panther. You cannot replace Captain America. They're too iconic. They're too iconic in terms of being built into the Marvel Cinematic brand. You can bring in other actors, but you cannot replace them as the central character for whoever they're associated with. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who would you think would be someone good to come in and continue donning the role of Black Panther? Thank you, Darksiders, so much as always. If you are new here, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.